Hello class, and today we will be going into Anor Londo, the next area of the game, of course. Anyway, you just examined the Ring of Light that appeared after we beat the Iron Golem earlier. And a neat little cutscene will play where there's a big wall over there that's blocked off, so these guys will have to carry us over it. So you might get a little scared, especially considering that these guys are one of the main enemies in Anor Londo, but don't worry about it too much, because these guys are actually the helpful sort. When they carry you over the big wall, and you get what is probably the best view of the entire game. Right here, Anor Londo, the city of the gods or something. Basically, it's where the only remaining god resides. His name is Gwendolyn, but I can't show him to you guys yet because I need a special item from the catacombs. Anyway, now that we're here, let's go ahead and get started. So yeah, run down this way, and we will get probably the best view ever. You could just stop here and stare at the binoculars like forever. But anyway, right here, sightsee. Down here is our next enemy. I actually died to this guy because I was being a little too overconfident. So yeah. Anyway, the goal with these guys is to bait their attacks. But as you can see, they only activate when you get really close to them. Basically, the trick is to get behind them and slam them, because any attack directed even remotely close to their shield is completely blocked. So that shield smash attack there is the best, because it leaves them pretty much wide open. But other than that, most of their attacks, if they even remotely hit the shield, it is completely blocked, and you get staggered too, I think. So bait the shield smash, get behind them, and give them one good whack. That's pretty much all you have to do with these guys. And there. So they are kind of cumbersome to fight, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually really easy. So there's two of them here. I'm going to try to get one at a time because fighting two of these guys could get really annoying. So yeah, let's draw him away from his friend a little bit and avoid the ridiculously long-ranged attacks. So in case you're wondering why they're so big, the gods are basically the giants, which is the race mentioned in the beginning cutscene. They're basically just a taller version of the mankind people, of the pygmies' descendants, or more like the pygmies' descendants are a smaller version of the giants. But anyway, they're much taller, and that's why everything in this place is so big. Except the chests and the silver knights and people. I find that a little weird, but other than that, meh. Anyway, so sometimes they can get a bit finicky about when they want to do a shield smash. And once they do, just give them a good whack. Maybe two if you can. You can see that one good whack from it will stagger them, which is quite nice. So yeah, see that guy there? His name is Dragon Slayer Orrington. He's one of the 4 Knights of Gwyn, which is basically his highest lieutenants. He's one of the bosses of this area. So yeah, there's a piece of demon titaniate that we won't be using because we probably won't have boss soul weapons. And let's run down this way. So you're probably wondering where the bonfire is. You have to fight through those guys. Actually, you don't have to. You can just walk by them if you wanted to. Basically, you just make a left here and walk down this little stairwell. Yeah. So down here is the Firekeeper of Anor Londo and the bonfire. So we're going to go ahead and reset the bonfire, put a few stats in here. I'm feeling like our vitality should be a little higher, so I'm going to go put a point there too. And switch to our gold hemmed black set. And there we go. And we're going to put a few weapons away in my sped up bottomless box thing. So basically just everything we're not using, including the crossbows and catalysts and talismans and pyromancy flames and shields that are not part of any sets. And that's pretty much it. So we're still mid-rolling, unfortunately. And we don't have enough souls to level up, so I'm going to go ahead and see if we have any soul items. There, we have one. That's good. So let's go ahead and consume that. And then go ahead and level up again. So we're going to buff up our endurance as high as we can get it. We're trying to get this to fast roll, but it's being really finicky. let's go and talk to the firekeeper. So, okay, so if we just go, I'll show you guys the way. So you can go ahead and use the firekeeper soul, and there we go. We now have a +3 Estus flask. So yeah, I think it's probably smart to stick with our heavy armor set in this bit because, well, the enemies are a lot easier taken care of if you do that. And I forgot to put the flamberge away. Huh. Anyway, let's go ahead and do that. And yep, there. Alright, now our inventory is all cleaned up. We only have 2 armor sets, and the only weapons we have are the shields and the weapons of our 2 sets. So anyway, let's go and run down this way and show you guys a little bit more loot in the other boss of this area, Executioner Smogue, but we'll talk about it more later when we get a good view of his statue. Anyway, you can ignore that guy. He actually leads to the next area, which is only unlocked after you beat Anor Londo. So yeah, we just lure him back a bit, good distance away from his buddies, and then try to circle him. The shield smash is really easy to bait if you just circle around him. So, and he jumps far enough away to give us a pretty good head start. Yeah. Anyway, so now he's dead, and we can focus on the other guy and get the loot behind them. So yeah, sometimes they do attacks like that that push you really far back. That can get really annoying, especially considering their slow gait is a little bit faster than your, is just only a little bit slower than your normal walking pace, which is generally what you'll be doing and while you're fighting. Anyway, as you can see, the Eagle Shield's little 95% thing is really inconsequential. We've only taken a little bit of damage, and that can be easily healed. As you see, any attack that hits their shield at all is completely deflected. So yeah, it can be pretty annoying at times. And now we have access to the chests. So as you can see, this one here from the chain is a mimic. So let's go ahead and hit it. It might be smart to hit every chest you hit in case you're not quite sure about the chain, but well, it's all you. Anyway, just give him a good whack. And once more, and there we go. This is the Crystal Halberd. It's another one of those new weapons like the Drake Sword and the Lightning Spear that everybody says is really awesome, but it's actually kind of not. Anyway, this is not a mimic. And it drops a Twinkling Titanite, which is used to upgrade special armor sets and stuff. That's Smogue up there. He'll be the harder of the 2 bosses because we'll be fighting him last. Anyway, so there are certain armor sets that can't be upgraded normally, and you have to use Twinkling Titanite to upgrade them. But fortunately, we won't be using any of those. So yeah, let's just go ahead and head on down to the main body of Anor Londo. So you can see that little platform in the middle. It goes down right when we step on it. And once we have, it's all self-aware and it goes up and down by itself. So anyway, let's get moving. So down these stairs. This game likes their stairs. Anyway, there's nothing really in this circle here, but it's generally good to check, just to be sure. And down this way. And guess who we'll be fighting again? The Bell Gargoyles. Except there's only one at a time this time, and he's one of the harder ones. He doesn't breathe fire, so that's lucky. I'm pretty sure if you chop off his tail, it gives you another Gargoyle's Halberd, but we don't really need that. And I'm pretty sure the loot that these guys drop is now guaranteed drops. Because we will be getting the Gargoyle's Helm from this guy, and we will also be getting the shield from the next one. Yes, there are 2. These are the only 2 apart from the boss. So yeah. Once you got him dead. And I'm trying to chop off his tail, but it's not working, so there you go. The Gargoyle Helm. It's actually one of the more powerful helmets. As you can see, it's got quite a few advantages on the one we're using right now. So I'm actually going to go ahead and equip it. And it looks pretty awesome too. So you can't actually go that way, so we're going to go ahead and can't actually go that way there. So we're going to go up this way, which is the correct way. I'm pretty sure there's some loot up those stairs if you guys want to grab it, but we won't be back here. Anyway, up this carefully go up this rafter. There's going to be more of this, don't worry. And into the church place, I guess, the Anor Londo parish. Anyway, this is full of painting guardians, which are very fast with low hit points, and they have chain attacks and such. So they're humanoid though, so they can be backstabbed, so these guys are actually pretty annoying because they like to gangbang you and backstab you and stuff. So anyway, now we have a lot of really narrow rafter walking, so we're going to go ahead and switch to our gold helmet black set. As you can see, the gargoyle helm's way better, even though it just takes away a little bit of weight. We can still mid-roll, which is important. So now we have our other set on. And just to let you guys know, you can feel free to mix and match sets. Like say you want to use the Zweihander with the light armor set. That's all up to you guys. But this is the two-steam set I'll be using because of the lighter weight of the weapons. So you have to be very careful not to fall off. I actually did accidentally, and so I had to edit out a bit of the video. There. So there's a couple more throwing knives, and you just cut the chain here. I'll show you guys what that did later. And here we are in my second attempt, and the one that actually succeeded. As you can see, blocking throwing knives doesn't actually do any stamina damage, but it does do a lot of basic health damage, so there you go. It's one more dead painting guardian. These guys have a lot of souls on them, surprisingly. Anyway, so the room below us is actually full of them. Anyway, as you see, they have really interesting curvy attacks, stuff like that. So I'm gonna wait for an opening, but there isn't one. So I might be seeing the statue to the left. That is a statue of Guinevere, I think, the daughter of Gwyn, and the most important NPC in this area, I think. Maybe next to Gwendolyn, but Gwendolyn doesn't really count because you don't actually see him or hear his name at all unless you kill Guinevere or find his secret boss fight room. But yeah. So there's actually nothing down here, but I'm just going to show it to you guys anyway. You can drop through those pillars if you want to, but that would be stupid. So we're just going to go ahead and go back up. So yeah, we'll see Guinevere at the end of the boss fight in all her actual glory instead of just being a statue. And we're going to go and switch back to our Elite Knight set and Eagle Shield here. So there we are, up in this thing that spins around. Anyway, you can go over this way and turn the lever, and this whole platform will corkscrew down. So there you go. Just push it a bit. It's the only time a cutscene will play when you actually do this. It just shows you what it does. It spins down and locks into place, accessing a route that was not previously available. It allows us to actually continue on in the area. But first, we actually have a few secrets. And I forgot about the other gargoyle, so he's going to sneak onto our thing and we're going to have a stairs fight. So anyway, gets himself stuck on the stairs, and I try to do a plunging attack, which fails miserably. And behind him, chop at him a bit. Generally, it's a good idea whenever you're fighting a boss is to get behind them. And there you go. And there. So that's one more dead gargoyle, and we got the gargoyle shield, which I believe we already got. It's not that all that good. It has very low physical resistance, which is not good at all. So yeah, let's go ahead and run down this needlessly long flight of stairs to a hidden bonfire that you only access if you know where to go. This is a statue of Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight and the final boss of Dark Souls. So we won't be seeing him again for a while, but here's a nice neat little ring here, the Ring of the Sun's Firstborn. which a lot of people believe to be still there, but I talked about that earlier. Anyway, just boosts the strength of your miracles. God of War, huh? I've heard that phrase before. Anyway, let's go in. This statue actually disappears if you have the Dark Moon Science ring or something from the catacombs. So we'll talk about that more later when we actually fully explore the catacombs and get said ring. So let's just go ahead and switch to our other set and see if we're still mid-rolling, unfortunately. And we're still mid-rolling even with the hood on. So let's just switch back to our Elite Knight armor and weapons, and we'll be on our way after we store a few things, I think. Yeah, let's just be on our way. And there we go, up the stairs. You might be wondering about that lever to the right. That actually pulls down this if you respawn at the bonfire and the thing's screwed up or something. So it's, yeah, so it's there as like a failsafe, I guess, if you screwed up somewhere, which you probably will. Anyway, and now it's time to show you guys the Painting Guardian area, right up this way. And through here is a room completely chock full of Painting Guardians. If you're wondering why they're called that, I'll show you guys that later in this room, actually, because that's guarding in the only place in the entire game that they actually show up. I guess they were making sure that there was plenty of them. You might see that crashed chandelier there. We knocked that down earlier up on the rafters. And it's generally wise to take them on one-on-one for a while. But if you do lure them all up, it's pretty easy just to do a couple sweep attacks. Just try to keep them at your front, because I think they can backstab you. And these guys are everywhere. Fortunately, we can one-hit them, which is always an advantage in my book. So yeah. Over this way is a few more Painting Guardians, of course. And there's one behind us, the throwing knives. That's how much health damage one generally does. So it's good to block them because they don't take any stamina either. So yeah. There's another guy that leaped out the side at us. See, their weapons don't do much damage, but when they string them together, it gets really deadly. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of both of them at once. One gave me a humanity, and the other gave me 2 throwing knives. That's pretty nice. Anyway, now that most of those guys are dead, I can show you guys the loot that dropped off this. This is a sorcery called Great Magic Weapon. It buffs the power of any normal weapon if you have the intelligence required and the catalyst in the other hand. So we're not actually going to focus on doing that because I'm pretty sure lightning weapons can't be buffed. And our Zweihander will be lightning once we get done with it. So maybe wondering, what's that corpse there? That is the sleeping Iron Tarkus. And no, he's definitely not dead because he's Tarkus. Anyway, there's our new armor set, and a great shield you can use if you don't want the 95% physical resistance of the Eagle Shield. But as you can see, it requires 34 strength. But other than that, it's way awesome. So yeah, it's really nice. And our new Black Iron set. It's really heavy, but it's really awesome too. So let's go ahead and put it on. And now we are Tarkus. Tarkus. Yeah, as you can see, the Tarkus set is way better than the Elite Knight set, so we're going to stick with it. You might see that painting up there. That is the entrance to the painted world of Artemius, and the painting that the Painting Guardians are protecting. So, yeah, it's there, and we'll access it in the next video, possibly, depending on how long it takes me to beat Ornstein and Smough. Because we will not be finishing Anor Londo in this video, that's for sure. Anyway, now that we have our new armor set, we are pretty much indestructible because it is fused with the power of Tarkus. Anyway, neat little trick I know is if you run over this way, and then run this way, it doesn't look like you're going anywhere, and once this comes around, it's the way you're supposed to be going. I've had to practice that a lot because I was always dying and respawning at the Gwyn statue bonfire. Although I think it's technically called the Dark Moon Tomb. Anyway, we're gonna go up the human-sized stairs, not the giant ones, even though we can go up the giant-sized stairs if we wanted to. Anyway, here's two more of these sentinels, I think they're called. And, yeah, wait a bit. These guys have pretty long activation range, so we want to get it away from that guy. So do not get too close, because otherwise you'll be fighting two of them, and that is not fun. So yeah. Smashes his shield down, get behind him, give him a good whack. And then another one if you're feeling judicious, but you probably won't hit anyway. And see, deflected by the shield again. And down attack. And he has really nice dodge attacks too. These guys can be really tedious if you find a way to circle around them. As you can see, we barely took any damage from that attack because we are targets now. And we killed it because we're targets. Anyway. So here he is. 1,500 souls. Not bad, not bad. It's about 5 times as much as a painting guardian would give you. Anyway. And that's our basic attack down, so all we need is 2 more heavy attacks now. And shield smash. Come behind him. Shield smash again. Heavy attack. And he dodges away, of course. And there he goes with his attacking stuff. And behind him. Close enough. And there we finally go. Now you're gonna have, if you don't know how to deal with the Anor Londo archers in the next bit, you will be fighting these guys a lot. Which is probably how I've figured out all the tricks. Anyway. Don't go that way, there's nothing that way. And here's some of those bat demon guys, I guess they're called. Those spears actually do lightning damage, but the eagle shield actually has one of the highest lightning resistances in the game. And here's a little trick I found to deal with one of them, actually. You go up this way, stand here for a bit, triggers this guy's attacking. There's a jump attack which can't quite reach you, and then he leaps backwards from pre-programming and falls off the edge by himself. If you have any sort of ranged attack, you can knock that guy off the edge just with a little poise breaking. That's pretty nice. Only 2 heavy attacks, and that's a lot of dead bat demons. Nothing that way, and this is the way you're going to go. So yeah, down this way. And there's a couple more of the bat demons. But they're hiding over there. Don't go into that little courtyard area, because there's 2 guys shooting really big arrows at you that will massacre you, even if you're wearing heavy armor. So that guy just fell off the edge for us. So we can focus on this guy. Poise breaking is way handier. Now that he's dead, we can go ahead and very carefully run up here. There's the Anor Londo archers, the 2 most hated enemies in the game, I can tell. Yeah, they're just really annoying. I had to edit out a part where I died there. Pretty seamlessly, actually, in my opinion. But anyway, run up here. And generally the goal here on these really narrow passageways with heavy knockback arrows, even with a shield up, as you can see that knock us back. Feet. So anyway, once he switches to a sword shield, your goal is to try and get him off the edge. Kicking won't work, so you're going to have to use poise breaking, if at all possible. As you can see, he's not standing for it. So we're going to have to get him off a little more conventionally. And there we go. So these Silver Knights are basically weaker versions of the Black Knights that only appear in this area. Yeah. So they're pretty much Dragon Slayer Ornstein's squad. Because he's the only knight left, really. Anyway, those guys fall off the cliff. We get healed back to full just in case. And grab our lost souls. And we can run down here and grab even more souls. So you want to be very careful not to fall off the edge because these Silver Knights respawn and you have to fight those guys again. I made it look really easy, but it is not. Those guys can knock you off really, really easily. So I would recommend going in with extreme caution. And now that we're done with that, there's a bonfire really close by, actually. So we can finish up with that quickly. See, we only have 5 minutes left. That's about the time needed to get to the bonfire. Grab a few items at the bottom, like a new armor set. And we're pretty much done. With this video, at least. So anyway, into this fog gate. And we are in a safe area now, pretty much. Make a left here into the bonfire room. And go ahead and go through here. There's Solaire.
Oh, you've been
so apparently we haven't summoned him recently. So he has he wants to help, basically.
You really are. If I didn't
anyway, that's pretty funny there. That little line is like, if you didn't know better, I'd think you had feelings for me. So yeah, that's pretty funny there. So we're gonna go ahead and level up. That's 30 endurance. I think that's enough for now, especially because we're level 50. Anyway, let's go in through here. And here's another Silver Knight. This area has the most Silver Knights of any area, really. So they have similar movesets to Black Knights, I think. But they have a lot of varying weapons. So you actually can loot their weapons off them, but don't worry about the armor set. There's a way to get that. And it's really not all that good. I would classify it more as a medium armor set. Thinking of heavy as like the Black Iron set, which you fat roll no matter how much endurance you have. Anyway, in here is the three sunlight medals. So that's pretty nice. And now we're going to go get the Havel set. You might recall Havel one-hitting us earlier and absolutely creaming us, and me cutting out the footage because I didn't want you guys to watch me get pwned by Havel. So we're gonna go get his armor set, which looks really awesome. Actually makes the great shield makes the great shield that we're using right now look tiny. It is that awesome. Anyway, this room looks rather inconspicuous, but if you roll through here, it is an illusionary wall. We can go down here and grab the Havel armor set, which is really awesome. It can be classified as one of the best armor sets in the game, actually, so we're probably going to stick with it for a while. Anyway, Havel's gauntlets and leggings, and Havel's helmet and armor. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys those. As you can see, they're way better than the Black Iron set. And there we go. We're still rolling, surprisingly enough. Our endurance is pretty high. And there's Havel's Great Shield. And Havel's Dragon Tooth, which is one of my favorite weapons. It's a great hammer. It has really high damage, but it requires 40 strength. Same with the shield requiring 50. That's a mimic there. You can give it a couple good whacks while it's getting up. As you can see, the health damage from that was completely unnoticeable. So we are pretty much going to stick with tanking for a while now. Even though the Eagle Shield has some little tiny bit of damage you take, it's really not that much. There's the Occult Club. It's basically just a club that's been upgraded to Occult, which basically means it has really high faith scaling. And apparently, occult weapons are the only things that can really damage the gods. So, think of it as you will that Havel has one in his stash. Anyway, let's run back to the bonfire and our new awesome armor set. And we'll finish up with Anor Londo in the next video. So yeah, heading back to the bonfire, spending a few souls. So we're not going to head into human form yet because we still have plenty of area to explore. But we're just going to put another point in vitality because we are seriously running low on that. Anyway, put another point there. And that should be it for a while. Although we do have a few things to put away, like our old armor sets. And a few items here. I probably should have sped this bit up. Anyway, just put away anything you don't think you'll be using ever at all. this gold pine resin because our main weapon will be lightning anyway really soon. That's all for items. Let's move over to the armor sets and weapons first. So, yeah. Here's the Colt Club and the Dragon Tooth and the Crystal Halberd. And down here, way down here, is the Black Iron Shield and Havel's Great Shield, so you can go ahead and put those away. So we're going to go ahead and put away the Elite Knight set and the Black Iron set. And that's pretty much it. So now that we have all our spare armor and weapons put away, we can easily switch between fast rolling and fat rolling. And yeah, that's all for today. See you guys when we finish up Anor Londo in the next video.